even through the company reporting a net loss of $404 million. How do those numbers add up? I don't know. All I know is they said that the shares of their company went up 7%, so that's good for shareholders. But I don't care about shareholders. I care about Dashers making that money. So if you want to get your food delivered hot and ready to your house, to your apartment building, on the 9th floor, you gotta go up there, push buttons on the elevator, you got a gate code, you ain't even told nobody the code, you got dogs running around all crazy, you ain't even put the dogs up, it's nighttime, you ain't even turn the light on or nothing, you got all types of trash all out in front of your house. If you want that food delivered, do me a favor, leave a tip on the order. It's very, very simple, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Guys, DoorDash is testing warnings about bad service if you don't tip your driver. A lot of customers out there that's feeling a certain kind of way because they feel like they're being forced to tip. No, nobody is forcing you to tip. We just letting you know the current climate of the market. If you don't tip, we don't make no money. If you want to get some food delivered to your house, you got to put a tip on there. If you want to get it fast and you want to make sure your Dasher being taken care of, you need to be tipping on them orders. Now, CNN actually just posted, let's go ahead and read what they got to say about it. Thinking of skimming on your DoorDash tip? Do it at your own risk. Earns a message being tested by the food delivery provider. If you try to place an order through the DoorDash app without leaving a tip, you may get this pop-up. Orders with no tip may take longer to get delivered. Are you sure you want to continue? Dashers can pick and choose which orders they want to do. Orders that take longer to be accepted by Dashers tend to result in a slower delivery. Your food is going to be sitting there cold, and it's going to be cold when it gets to you. You're not going to be happy. You're going to want a refund, and that's why we getting to this point. You know, because these no-tip customers been getting their food cold. They been getting it delivered to the wrong house. And all they do is issue a refund, warm their cold food up, and keep doing that because they like gaming the system. But here's the thing, though. You got Dashers like myself who out there actually trying to make a living picking up orders. And when the whole system is flooded with no-tip orders, right? And then on the flip side, DoorDash is having to reimburse these customers because they're complaining about cold food and they're complaining about long wait times. It's time that we go ahead and put that message right in their face. Look, if you can't tip, you may be waiting a little bit longer for your orders. If you don't tip, your food may be cold when it gets to you. You might not get it at all. Now, DoorDash should be able to tell them that they self, and it's about time they finally did. Because here's the thing. Those no-tip orders are still profitable for DoorDash. But once they start refunding this customer 2-3 times every single time they order, they having to issue a credit or a refund. Now it's starting to dig into DoorDash pockets. It's already been digging into our pockets, but now it's finally starting to dig into their pockets, and that's why they're sending out this message. So the article goes on to say, in other words, tip your driver or be prepared to wait a long time for a cold meal. That's right, you heard me right. Be prepared to wait a long time for a cold meal. Well, you say, well, dang, why don't I just go pick it up myself? That's a great idea. We encourage you to go pick it up yourself. Not only will you save money on fees and everything else, you ain't got to worry about your food being tampered with. All these crazy Dashers out here doing everything and you don't know what. You ain't got to worry about your food being cold because you're going to go there and pick it up right when it's ready. And you ain't got to worry about it being late because it's all up to you how fast you want to get up there and get their food. So when I heard things like, oh, I just go pick it up myself, great. Because your order is not helping the overall marketplace. Your order is damaging the marketplace. You putting more wear and tear on Dashers vehicles. They not making profit on your order. And honestly, we don't need your own. Why should they even tip? And when is it acceptable to hit no? In this case, DoorDash is laying out it right in your face. So they saying, look, we laying it out right here for you. We asking them to see extra money as an incentive for good service rather than a reward. Like, you don't just get to get your food delivered to your door just because you signed up for Dash Pass or just because you pay some delivery fees. You got to put that tip on there. Now, I do think we should pressure the gig companies to pay more of a base pay, something that's more reasonable and acceptable, get you closer to that achievable, rate that you need to make these orders acceptable. But let's all be honest. We live in reality, and the reality is the way the companies are set up right now, they only paying a couple dollars per delivery. Don't matter if it's going 1-2 miles or 20 miles. So that leaves it on the customer to understand and have that information so that they can see if they really want to place that order from 15 miles away. Yes, you pay delivery fees. Yes, you got Dash Pass, but they don't got nothing to do with the Dasher who got to accept that order. Now, I know you may be upset, DoorDash customer. I know you may say, hey, why don't the company just pay more? I know you may say, hey, it ain't my job to make sure they make enough. I'm already paying all these fees. And you are right about that. But what I need you to understand is, before DoorDash came around, before Uber came around, your silly ass was going up there and picking up your own food, and you was happy to do it. And before then, you was even making some food, and you was happy to do that. So if you're not willing to make sure that all bases are covered when you place that delivery, just don't place it. Go back to 15 years ago when you had to cook you something to eat, or you had to go ahead, start up the car, and head on up there and get it yourself. Do that. Because then you saving everybody. Now, I know you might be missing out on that convenience of being able to whip out your smartphone, place an order, and then walk to your front door and it just be right then and there. But you got to understand, these are the times we living in. No tip, no trip. Put a tip on that order, especially if it's coming through DoorDash. That way you can get good service. Okay, because good service is not something that you owed. You got to pay for that. And yes, delivery fees is a part of that payment, and service fees, and guess what? The tip too. Now we're going to go ahead and read on a little bit more. Rosenberg noted that Dash, the people who deliver the order, me and others that watch this channel, are independent contractors who have full freedom to accept or reject offers based on what they view as valuable and rewarding. Tips go directly to us. You're not tipping DoorDash or the people up at the merchant. You tipping us, and we need that to make the order good. Flat out. Now, DoorDash, along with other third-party delivery providers, have opposed efforts to create a minimum wage for delivery drivers. So that's telling you, we've been trying to fight for a better base pay, a better standard of minimum pay requirements for the companies. But they giving us pushback, which they is and they should. We gonna fight them on that. You got the food, you got the dasher, and the customer. And your part includes putting a tip on there. And if you're not cool with that, just stop ordering. Make it easy for everybody. Now look, in the third quarter, DoorDash totals grew 24% year over year. 543 million. The company said Wednesday, and revenue spiked 27%, 2.2 billion compared to this time last year, even through the company reporting a net loss of 404 million. How do those numbers add up? I don't know. All I know is they said that the shares of their company went up 7%, so that's good for shareholders. But I don't care about shareholders. I care about Dashers making that money. So if you want to get your food delivered hot and ready to your house, to your apartment building, on the 9th floor, you got to go up there, push buttons on the elevator, you got a gate code, you ain't even told nobody the code, you got dogs running around all crazy, you ain't even put the dogs up, it's nighttime, you ain't even turn the light on or nothing, you got all types of trash all out in front of your house. If you want that food delivered, do me a favor, leave a tip on the order. It's very, very simple, okay?